Nutritional and integrative tips during COVID-19. 10 plus best self care strategies for you and your clients. What are the 10 tips that we are going to review together? Number one, apply the principle of substitutions to manage mood and stress eating. Two, combine good food recipes with family learning activities. Use special vitamins and nutrients to enhance immunity and respiratory health and to decrease inflammation. Drink herbal teas to enhance the HPA axis, the hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal axis. Make herbal elixirs to aid strength and enhance patience, adults only. Combine herbs and foods into sleep-enhancing smoothies. Use baths to both relax and lift mood. Identify the right aromatherapy for you and your children. Don't forget to use interval training to raise your body temperature. This reduces anxiety, and there's some evidence that virus does not like heat. And then finally, learn a simple rocking technique for your family, and you can also teach it to clients to reduce autonomic hyperactivity and enhance sleep. Let's begin with the Brainbow Diet. And here you see a beautiful image of all of the colors of what I call the brainbow, the rainbow colors, which are rich in anti-inflammatory flavonoids. Combine a diet that has both raw and cooked vegetables and fruits. If you have trouble digesting raw fruit, you might, for example, try baking an apple. And look at all of these colors and discern the chemistry of these colors and what they offer. The reds and the blues and the purples are anti-inflammatory. They're rich in anthocyanins. The yellows and oranges are rich in vitamin A, which are boosters for immune health and for skin care. And then, of course, our greens, rich in chlorophyll, which help detoxify the colon, and really is the blood of plants that enhances our own blood system. As we're considering the Brainbow Diet, many of us experience during this time of stress eating, overeating, eating foods that we normally don't, eating junk foods. We do this because we're managing ourselves and our brains chemically. We're often doing this unconsciously. I call the antidote to this the principle of substitutions. This is where we substitute healthy foods for our food cravings. Why do we crave different foods? If we understand this, if we become aware of this, we can consciously alter our mood through our food choices and not be controlled by our cravings. Number one, we often need the nutrients that are offered. Who isn't craving chocolate these days? Well, chocolate is very rich in magnesium, which is a natural anti-anxiety chemical. Actually, it's a mineral. What about caffeine? Caffeine, as you well know, is a drug. It's not a beverage, but use it wisely. Caffeine is a mood booster in the morning, but if we drink too much of it, we flip over into anxiety. This is where we bring the principle of substitution and cravings into our conscious care. Sometimes we're allergic to the foods that we crave, and they're almost like a drug in our system. For example, we know that wheat and gluten can be highly allergenic foods for people. It can trigger opiate-like reactions in the brain, causing depression. So if you are finding this along with joint stiffness, you may consider exploring sensitivity to gluten, as well as casein, the protein in milk. The other reasons we might crave foods during times of stress is they remind us of different times in our life, perhaps positive times, joyful times, times when we were with our family, and now we may feel isolated from our friends and our family. Or if we've migrated from another country or we are in refugee status, we may crave some of the foods of our country of origin. Explore the meaning of these foods and find appropriate substitutes, or you might even find these foods themselves. We often want to alter our consciousness, and that's natural. All animals in the world alter their consciousness. The question is, are we doing it consciously? So, in general, for comfort and anxiety reduction, we ingest carbohydrates and fats. For energy and to focus, we ingest proteins and dopamine rich foods, for example, coffee. And I'm going to share with you as we go along in this uh, course some different hints for how to alter consciousness consciously and either boost mood when you need to or help relax when you need to. Understand the principle of substitutions by understanding not only the biochemistry of foods, but the emotional biochemistry. Find substitutions that assess and address your needs, but they're healthier and they limit the side effects of junk food. Remember, our goal toward enhancing our mood and reducing stress is reducing inflammation. So avoid the pro-inflammatory foods. Find an alternative food that gives you the same effect. And during these stressful times, sometimes we note that our blood sugar rises and falls and our mood rises and falls. So always mix a fat, a protein, and a carbohydrate in a snack or a meal. Make healthy comfort foods. There's nothing wrong with comforting yourself, your family, and your friends. And you can even do this, put a camera in front of you in the kitchen, show your friends and your clients what you're doing, and share your special recipes with them. I'm giving you here two really fun recipes to make. One is a chocolate almond coconut joy recipe. What could be healthier for you than chocolate? So rich in flavonoids, it's anti-inflammatory, it's a mood booster, it tastes good, it's good for our liver. Almonds, one of the most important nuts in the nut kingdom, and make sure you eat them raw or you can soak them. And then, of course, coconut, so good for our brain. And this is a fun recipe I'm going to give you. So click on this link. And I have done this many, many times with children in cooking classes. And the wonderful thing about this recipe is it is sugar-free and so delicious. You can make a lot of it and freeze it and have a couple of pieces every day. The other image you see here is green tea jello. What better simple food to digest during stressful times than a delicious, naturally sweetened jello, rich in gelatin, rich in protein for focus, for nourishment, and yet during times of stress, when our digestion is a little upset, Jello or gelatin is so easily digested. It's also rich in the amino acid called glycine, which is very good for depression and anxiety. And I've given you a wonderful recipe here for green tea jello. Now, later on, when you watch the Jamaica video, I recommend that you can also make this jello recipe and substitute Jamaica. More to come on that. Now, let's remember why green tea is so good for us. Green tea has a little bit of caffeine, but it also has the anti-anxiety neurotransmitter or amino acid called theanine. And this is why green tea gives us a very mild but gentle energy boost, but without that anxiety or jagged feeling that too much coffee can give us. This green tea jello is good for people of all ages. Next, I want to share with you the Mocha Matcha Smoothie. Building on our green tea theme and our chocolate theme, this is a wonderful, healthy smoothie that is going to give you focus and energy and lift your mood in the morning. It involves coffee. Now, if you're serving this to a child, you might omit the coffee, but we often use this with our children who are hyperactive, and so it's a very natural alternative to medications for children. You use sweetened coconut milk, which will ground your energy and give you ketone energy to function throughout the morning. Matcha powder, unsweetened organic coconut powder or cocoa powder. I like to sweeten with a little stevia, but you could certainly sweeten with a little raw honey, which is antibacterial and antiviral. Also, you might enjoy a little vanilla extract and top it off with a little coconut cream. You can make this and it will serve 4 people, and it is such a delicious way to start your day. Or if you're feeling your energy flag midday, this is a wonderful, healthy smoothie to make. Now, conversely, when you're ready to start calming down in the evening, I've given you for sleep a cherry chamomile smoothie. Cherries are well known as a fruit that enhances melatonin production. Melatonin is our sleep hormone. It is the hormone that comes out when it's dark. And this is why it's so important to sleep in a completely dark room and to begin to settle down using blue light blocking glasses, getting away from the computer and the screens about an hour or two before bed. Cherries enhance melatonin, also chamomile. Make a nice strong tea of chamomile. It enhances GABA production in the brain. That's our sleep and anti-anxiety neurotransmitter. It enhances our melatonin. And you can add frozen mangoes if you like, a little bit of flaxseed oil. This is a wonderful drink to also have if you notice that you fall asleep okay, but you wake up about 4 or 5 hours later. That may be significant that your blood sugar is dropping. By combining these carbohydrates with a little bit of fat and this herb, you may then sleep through the night a little bit more smoothly. Enjoy using and making these smoothies, and they're very change friendly, so feel free to experiment with your whole family and friends.